Hello everyone, Rockrufff here with another video, and this is gonna be about the low budget version of my minion build. Now I know that a lot of people have been asking me about the Decayed Mind rings in my previous video of my build, and I realized that the rings went up in price. I do think that this will happen every start of each season and that the rings will be expensive. Anyway, I made up a solution for you guys. And the solution is don't use the rings at all. So I simply tried a bunch of stuff. I tested a lot of stuff, some weapons and everything, to see if I can still get good damage out of really budget items. So here is the result of it, and we're going to test it on the training dummy on the invisible level 85 one. As you can see, it does a very decent amount of damage. So let's take a look at my skills. Now, something I do want to mention is that not all of my skills are level 20. Like, for example, Tendon Slicer is not level 20. The main reason to that is because I swapped it out for my Bloodthirsty. And the reason why I'm not using Bloodthirsty for the low budget version is simply because it consumes your spider tank's life. Because of our overload not being up all the time, they can easily die with their low health if they're using Bloodthirsty. So yeah, if your skills are not all level 20, then you won't see the same amount of damage, so do please keep that in mind. And also, because of my Tendon Slicer being level 16, I can get some more damage out of that if it's level 20 as well. So I think you can expect maybe like 18 or maybe even 20 million from the training and dummy result. But anyway, for skills, we are of course using Summon Spider Tank, Critical Strike Damage Increase, Multi-Strike, Tendon Slicer, Mechanical Modification, and Mark. For the second Spider Tank, we are using the same skills. Now, I purposely did not put a 6-link because I know not everyone is able to have a second 6-link, so we're doing it on a 5-link. But yeah, we're basically using the same things except for Mark. We're also using Vulnerability with Abysmal Hatred and Extended Duration, Dark Gate with Extended Duration and Cooldown Reduction, Machine Army, Mass Effect, and Mania. Now going over to our passives and auras. So we are using Auto Defense with Aegis of Fire and Iron Fortification. We are also using Summon Thunder Spirit, Multi-Strike, Elemental Duo, and Critical Strike Damage Increase. And for auras, we're using Precise Projectiles and Weapon Amplification. So let's go over to my talent tree. Now we are using God of Machines, Machinist, and Alchemist. So I'm gonna slowly scroll through this for you guys, so you guys can copy whatever I have. Now at 10 points we are using Orders, and at 20 points we are using Mighty God. Going over to the Machinist. Again, I will slowly scroll through this. Now on 18 points we'll be selecting Boss, and on 36 points we will be selecting Burning Aggression. Going over to the Alchemist tree. Again, I will slowly scroll through this for you guys. Now on 18 points we are selecting Source, and on 36 points we are using Warhorn. Hero traits. So we are selecting Order Calling at level 15 for the overload effect. 32 we're picking All In. On 50, we're picking a Veteran. And on 62, we are picking a Last Stand. And at last 80, we're picking Rest and Ready for increased overload duration and the attack and cast speed. So the reason why I don't go for broke is simply because, just like I said before, if your minions are going to lose life and you don't have 100% uptime of your overload, then they will die easily. Going to my pack tree. Now this is what my pack tree looks like. If you do have the same pads as I have, then we're selecting the minion attack cast speed. Over here, we're also selecting all of the minion damage and minion attack speed for the spiny snail as well. I'm also using the XP protection simply because I'm level 97 now. And yeah, losing XP will hurt a lot, and that's why I'm using the Lizard Flower. But the pack spares that you want to be using are the ones with summon on it, so you can get the minion damage. Or if you have others that you rather use for drops, for example, then go ahead and use that. So let's take a look at my gear now. Of course, you don't have to get the exact same gear as I do. The only things that you do want to get your hands on is the Truth Amulet, the Interlocking Soul, and you don't need this Corrosion, by the way. Just a normal one is fine. And a Shield of Judgment for some defenses. Now, something I do want to say is that I just picked random gear for my stash. I just wanted it to be very, very basic. So if you cannot obtain all of these bases, that is completely fine. We're simply looking at the stats on the items. So what I mean with basic is, of course, some resistances and life. That's pretty much all you need. We're not getting any damage from any of this gear. So you can see, it's just a bunch of resistances on this helmet to cap my resistances. Over here, we just have some minion max life, some regen life, and more resistances. On my gloves, we got some block chance, lightning damage added on attacks, does not do anything for minions. And then we are also having more resistances. A belt with mainly resistances. And some boots with a bunch of movement speed and life. Also has resistance, and elemental damage does not do anything for your minions. Over here we have a ring with resistance and life. Also, the elemental damage does not do anything for your minions. As I said, you know, I was just looking through my stash of what I have for basic items, and yeah, you basically want to look for a ring that doesn't have elemental damage. Maybe something with strength or, you know, resistance, of course. Well, this is a good example ring. So this ring has a little bit of minion damage, some resistances, some mana, melee damage, and critical strike rating. It does not affect your minions. I'm going over to the info tab. As you can see, this is my life, my shield, mana, and it's a decent amount of life. I would say 3,000 is a decent amount. And we've got 66,000 survival, which is also a decent amount. Going on to the resistance page, we are overcapped. Of course, you know, you don't have to be overcapped. As long as you get it on 75%, that is fine. After you have your elemental resistances to 75%, you can then focus on erosion resistance and try and get that as well on 75%. We got a bunch of armor with some block, and yeah, just gonna scroll through it for you guys. And our movement speed is at least 54%. Drop locations. So for the drop location on the amulet, you want to go to Thunder Wastes and defeat the Watcher. As you can see, it is a special drop. Now you can literally do this in any Timemark. Right now I selected Timemark 1 just to show you guys that you can do that in Timemark 1. For the other drop locations, we're going to use this website. Now this website is called tlidb.com. And this is a fan-made website. This is not my website, by the way. There is lots of very useful information about the game itself in here. You can find the drop locations as well, and that's what we are going to do. So we are going to look for the interlocking soul. As you can see, the entire item is here. You can even get the corroded stats and the drop locations. So the drop location is global drops. That means you can drop it anywhere. Another way to obtain it is the Six Gods boon, which is a memory fragment, and also the Eurus legacy. Now, something I do want to say that if you get the Six Gods boon or the Eurus legacy fragments, then it's not gonna give you a guaranteed interlocking soul. So going over to the Shield of Judgment. So for the Shield of Judgment, as you can see, it is also a global drop. And it can also be obtained from the Six Gods boon and the Six Gods blessing. If I go to my inventory, for example. So one of those fragments is this Six Gods blessing. As you can see, this is a Six Gods blessing. And over here, it says random legendary armor, which means that if you have Six Gods blessing, if 6 of them, you can exchange it for a random legendary armor, which means you don't get a guaranteed Shield of Judgment. It can give you other armor as well, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys. And of course, this is also for the interlocking soul. So if you get one of those fragments, it's basically this. It works the same way. I'm going to do a Timemark 7 map to show you guys that this build is capable of doing Timemark 7 maps. So let's do this map. And yeah, for mapping, I am swapping out my vulnerability curse with a leap attack, and we're supporting it with hardened and quick mobility. So here we are at the boss. You can see its damage is going down pretty easily, and yeah, this is his immune phase. He's gonna have to wait until he's not gonna be immune. There we go. So I am standing in a monster level 85 map, which is the Space-Time Turbulence, which is also known as Tier 8 mapping. It is the other mode of the Netherrealm Expedition. And yeah, I just wanted to try out what it's like to do it with this budget build, and it is capable of doing it. Definitely, but it is slow. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of what it's like to kill monsters in monster level 85. So do try and not get hit, because the monsters here pack a punch. As you can see, they're plenty capable of killing everything. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. There's one thing I wanted to say about the space-time turbulence. Now, I don't recommend doing it, but if you want to do it, then the build is capable of doing it, but it's just gonna take a long time to kill everything and to clear the map. So I recommend you stay on Timemark 7 and farm whatever you need in order to make the upgrades to go to the space-time turbulence mode. Alright, so that was pretty much everything. I do want to say that the Decayed Mind Rings, I did realize that it's hard to drop. I only dropped 3 so far. I'm not sure if it's just me being unlucky or not. But yeah, that's what I got from it at least. And I hope you guys now enjoy the build without needing the rings. And if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Or you can ask me on Twitch. I will leave a link of my Twitch in the description if you guys want to hang out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.